Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is El Shakur. I'm here today with my co-host. You can say something about yourself.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuned in. This is Lucy, and welcome to our show.
Welcome to our show. Our geopolitical matter today is the Nobel Peace Prize controversy. In recent decade, the Nobel Peace Prize has sometimes gone to individuals who many believe have failed to live up to the set standard articulated by the founder of the prize, Alfred Nobel. The Peace Prize is inherently subjective. This subjectivity has rendered the award vulnerability to criticism, especially when it appears to be awarded more for symbolic or strategic reason than for genuine contribution to the cause of peace. Last year, the Nobel Peace Prize Committee awarded the 2025 prize to María Corina Machado, the Venezuelan opposition leader. They said her effort to advance democracy in Venezuela, whereby she was blocked from running for presidential in 2024, she supported the opposition candidate Edmundo and collected systematic documentation that he was the true winner of the election. After Maduro was declared the winner. The past week, María Corina Machado subsequently bestowed her medal upon President Trump, and this act has sparked significant controversy that imputed the credibility of the Nobel Peace Committee. The Nobel Institute states that the prize cannot be transferred. Trump has been on record stating that the prize is rigged because he was not given the prize after allegedly stopping eight wars. He went to the extent of writing to the Prime Minister of Norway stating he is no longer thinking about peace. Lucy and I will be discussing the politics behind the Nobel Peace Prize, whether the Nobel Peace Committee is losing its credibility, and dissecting whether the Nobel Peace Committee has been hijacked by politics while recognizing persons who are not pacifists. First, a bit of history. I will begin by reading an excerpt of Alfred Nobel that related to the Peace Prize. He said, and one part of the person who shall have done the most or the best work for the fraternity between nations and the abolition or reduction of standing armies and the formation and spreading of peace congress. The Peace Prize was first awarded in 1901. This was 5 years after Alfred Nobel's death. The expert I read gave a broad definition of peace that informed the award and the aspiration spirit that intend to characterize it awardees. Ms. Machado was named as the 2025 Peace Laureate. She dedicated the prize to Trump for allegedly ending eight wars. The last week on 15 January, she gifted her medal to Trump. So my question, my co-host is, was Machado really worthy for Nobel Peace Prize? What are your views about this act giving her medal to Donald Trump?
Thank you for the bit of history, and thank you also for reading us the excerpt from Alfred Nobel, which showed what he really wanted to characterize people who get the medal. First, I'll start with my views about the act of gifting Trump the medal. I was disappointed. Personally, I was disappointed by the act of giving Trump the medal because first, we know Trump is not a pacifist. You have rightly mentioned that Trump recently wrote to the Prime Minister of Norway, that is your Prime Minister, referring to the Peace Prize, saying the Peace Prize is rigged, imputing on the Nobel Committee and also on Norway, and then saying that he no longer wants to think about peace. You will see that Trump, by the fact that he is very much obsessed by this medal, it doesn't really go to the spirit of Alfred, because he is insisting to be awarded, and Alfred Nobel laid out a proper procedure of who should merit to be given the medal. The other question which you asked was whether Machado was a worthy recipient. There are various reasons why I believe she would not have been a worthy recipient. Of course, we know there is a laid down procedure for Nobel Peace Committee to follow, and also the procedure is that anyone can nominate anyone to be amongst laureates who are named. So one of the reasons why I believe she wasn't is that she openly advocated for the invasion of our own country. Machado is on record asking the US and also Israel to do something to come and invade our own country, Venezuela. That is not a Pacific, or that is not an effort of peace, bringing peace. The other thing is that she has been supportive of all the US sanctions which have been meted on Venezuela. As you know, Venezuela has been on sanctions, economic sanctions, for a very long time, and the consequence of this economic sanction is that tens and thousands of people have been killed or have died as an outcome of these sanctions because people are not able to survive. The other issue that makes me believe that Machado was not a worthy recipient is because she has been funded for over 20 years by the US, and she was involved in trying to, one, ouster Hugo Chavez, and two, she was also supportive, or she was involved in the recent oustering of Nicolas Maduro. My own opinion is that I do not think that she was a really worthy recipient. But going also back to the act of giving that medal to Trump, I believe she was led by personal interest, because we know she has had a very long career in politics, and she wishes, or I believe it is a wish, to be the president of Venezuela one of these fine days, because that's what she has been wanting it to be. Now, in history, we have one case where, a similar case, where someone gifted someone else their medal. We have one Norwegian. The irony of it is that there was this Norwegian author called Knut Hamsun, who was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1920. And in 1943, he gave his medal to Joseph Goebbels. Joseph Goebbels was the Nazi Germany Minister of Propaganda. And what had motivated Knut to do this? He was a Nazi sympathizer. So he gave his medal to Goebbels as a sign of thanks. So I believe Machado had seen, or was borrowing a leaf from Knut to give the medal to Trump. But going back to what the Nobel Institute, the statement you read about the Nobel Institute said that once the prize has been awarded, it cannot be transferred. So yes, they can gift, but in the records, it will read that Corina Machado is the one who won the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. The same way, the records still read that in 1920, it's Knut Hamsun who won the Nobel Prize in literature.
Personally, I just feel that what she tried to do was like business. She was trying to do a business with the Trump, because Trump himself knew that he did not win Nobel Peace Prize, because there are a lot of criteria you have to fulfill, all of them, to get Peace Prize. So Trump, he's saying that he ended 8 wars. So we still get caution that if these 8 wars truly was ended by his effort. So for example, Cambodia and Thailand, they're still fighting. The only thing he had done is just like threaten them that he will impose sanction on them. So maybe they are just waiting for better day to restart their fighting. And then I'm thinking that Machado, she's trying to go back to Venezuela, maybe to get some political leadership there, maybe to lead the country, because before she even gave her medal to Trump said she did not have a majority backup to rule the country. And at the same time, Donald Trump saying that he or the US administration will rule Venezuela for some time. So they are trying to find someone who can rule Venezuela for them. So maybe that was the reason she was doing a business of Nobel Peace Prize to get her will. I think this is very giving her the Nobel Peace Prize. She did not deserve it. I agree with you. She did not deserve it. And this is lesson that the Nobel Peace Committee has to learn from. because we cannot continue giving people who made a peace prize to people who really won a war. Actually, politicians, maybe they do not deserve peace prize because it was for pacific reason, people that stop war, but not people who can restart it or who begging other colonial power or other nation to attack another country. Just they want to gain something out of it. What do you think Nobel Peace Prize have to do now forward?
Well, first of all, I think the Nobel Peace Committee has been hijacked by politics. Why I think this is because first, how the committee is composed. Like the composition is determined by the Norwegian Parliament, where the members are appointed to reflect the political balance of Norway's legislature. And then, this arrangement means that the national interest and the prevailing political climate in Norway can and is often influences the selection process of who is the member of the committee. Although the current members of the government or parliament cannot serve on the committee is primarily made up of retired politicians and not international experts or peace practitioner. So this is what leads me to believe that the structure itself situates the Nobel Peace Committee within the global political interests and national interests and also foreign policy interests, because the members are retired politicians. So I think this also makes the claims of impartiality and moral authority a bit shaky. Going back to what Trump, or the statement of Trump where he said that the committee is rigged, I think it could be, you never know, because even the day before the Nobel Peace Prize winner was publicized, there were people betting online, and there was one person who bet a lot of money for María Corina Machado, and it happened that she won. So it means that there's someone who may have leaked that Maria is winning, and there's a person who made out with a lot of money from this betting site because of that. So what to do? From the history of how the Nobel Peace Prize has been awarding this Peace Prize, I know for a fact there have been very many worthy awardees, but we have also controversial awardees. I will start with the first one, which we know so much, the 1973 of Henry Kissinger, and his role in the Vietnam War. So history records Henry Kissinger as one of the biggest perpetrators of war. So I don't believe Kissinger was a pacifist. So that is one of the controversial awards. The other award was for Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama in 1989 was given a Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Peace Committee cited his advocacy for nonviolent movement in Tibet, but critics have said that for the longest, this Dalai Lama, who was Tenzin Gyatso, was being funded by the US to destabilize the region. I tend to think that if Alfred Nobel had stated that he wants people who are promoting peace, I'm wondering whether those ones I have named promote peace. There is another one also of Suu Kyi of Burma, the now Myanmar. She was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1991, but she was under house arrest. After she was released, she refused to admonish or to say that actually Rohingya, there was ethnic cleansing happening in Myanmar. But you find that the Nobel Committee later stated, when that controversy came about, later stated that they are not responsible of the after acts of these awardees. They just look at what was presented to them at the time before they determined whether that person is worthy or not. History has a lot of this controversial. The other one, which makes actually Trump talk too much and feel that he deserves the Peace Prize more than the other, is for the Barack Obama. Barack Obama was given Peace Prize Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, and that was just 9 months into his term. And during this time, he had ordered the bombings of Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, Syria, Libya.
Yeah, I think most of them was
Himself.
later on. Later on, yes.
Himself, actually, around the time he was named, himself, he
Okay.
admitted that he was a bit confused about the honor he had been given. He was unsure why he was receiving it. So, yes, so this says a lot about the committee, and I'm sure there are other reasons or there are very many things which the committee looks at, but one of the things we will give it to the Nobel Committee is that it's supposed to be independent, so it can't be influenced. But now the criticism is that it has been infiltrated by politics. So you find that mostly these decisions they are making, they are political. How to make it, or how can it reclaim its name, which is being tarnished out there? Honestly, I do not know, because most of the time, the process or the consideration, the discussions the members have before they decide who to award, those are records which are sealed. I believe if we add the records to see what they actually considered before making an award, then we would probably be able to make recommendations of how to advise them for change. But now, also based on the aspect that Alfred Nobel intended that this committee should be independent, then I don't think there is much we can do apart from criticizing. I don't know what you think.
No, I think is the time Alfred passed away, or the time he was living. So Norway used to be very, very Pacific country, because at that time Norway was in a union with Sweden, and Norwegian was much more Pacific, and because of that, the four other award was given to Sweden to give it, while the peace award was given to Norway. And during all these times, so Norway has tried to make peace as their mark, that everybody know them, because they're trying everything to make it peace and peaceful dialogue. It is one of the most important things in Norwegian politics. They are trying to enforce peace. They are trying to initiate peace talk between all parties. So, and we have seen a lot of Norwegian early on, before World War II, like that, we have seen a lot of people from Norway here, like Fridtjof Nansen. So he was very recognized as one of the person who really deserve Peace Prize. So he is not alone. So we have another person like a Christian Lange. So he tried his best, to work and achieve peace. So they have a lot of other good recipient of Nobel Peace Prize here. And I think if the really now damage has already been done by Machado, because she really wanted bargaining against Trump, I think the Norwegian Peace Committee need to sit down and rethink. So they have to go and give Peace Prize to organizations that work for peace, not politicians. Because these politicians, today they are peaceful, tomorrow they are not peaceful. For example, Ahmad from Ethiopia, he was awarded Nobel Peace Prize, and some years later he started
Actually,
war.
a year after. A
Yeah,
year after
okay,
he was
okay, a
awarded.
year after. So my concern is like if they continue giving peace prize to politicians, so it will be very difficult to achieve peace, and the credibility of Nobel Peace Prize, we miss it in really intention. We need to go to individual who working for society. We need to go to organization who trying to give food for people, who trying to democratize the society, but not a president or politicians or future politicians. So these people, they love power. They love to show themselves. They love to change. It's about interest.
I actually agree with you totally on that. And as I mentioned, the Nobel Peace Committee is made up of retired politicians, retired Norwegian politicians. In as much as they are retired from active political life, it does not mean that they don't hold political views. And they are still politicians. Once a politician, always a politician. This this is what I believe. So the way they are giving controversial, or the decisions they have made now, that is in 2025, and the other controversial ones, which we have highlighted, and I know there are very many other examples, I think it is led more so by politics, not by objectivity.
So what can they do also is just like this. I think the Norwegian Nobel Peace Committee, they need to select not just from politicians, just retired politicians like that. So maybe they need to select people from academy and people from business, people from other sector, not just politicians who have been in the politics, but people that really know about world. Maybe it's time to make it much more globalized committee, not just consistent of Norwegian only, but also other people maybe. But these are things that the future will see, because this is a crisis now.
Yes, and to add on to what you have mentioned, I think then it would be proper to lobby the Norwegian Parliament, because it's the one which determines the composition of the Nobel Peace Committee. And the Norwegian Parliament is also made up of politicians. So I think it is politically enmeshed through and through.
Yeah, we summarize what we have gone through.
Yes, currently in the news, there is a lot of controversy about the Nobel Peace Prize. This is because María Corina Machado decided to give a medal to President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump, prior to that, had been really campaigning so much to be given the Nobel Peace Prize, to an extent that he even made Norway afraid of retribution if the Nobel Peace Committee was not going to award him as the laureate of 2025. Unfortunately, he wasn't, but one of his fans, María Corina Machado, was given the medal. María Corina Machado, of course, we know, had been nominated by members of the US government who are currently serving there, and one of them who was a co-signer or a co-nominator was Marco Rubio. So you find all these interests about the politics in the Nobel Peace Prize is really valid. What Trump is saying, it could be rigged, it could be possible, because going back to the composition of the committee which determines the awardee of the Peace Prize, it is made up of retired politicians, and whoever determines the composition is the Norwegian Parliament. And before, we have also seen that there has been a lot of controversial awardees, beginning with Henry Kissinger, Dalai Lama. We have Barack Obama. We have Suu Kyi, and we also have Ahmed Abiy of Ethiopia. All this shows that there is a trend of the committee deciding on political interests, and our assumption is that it's because it is made up of old politicians, and once a politician, always a politician. That is our take for the controversy surrounding the Peace Prize. I would like to ask you to subscribe to our channel, and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much. And if you really enjoy our show, subscribe. And then if you want to come on show and challenge us, or to be questioned, to send message to us, so we'll answer you as well. Thank you so much. See you soon.